How you guys doing tonight? We're back. It's Model Mondays. Let me make sure you guys can hear me okay. If you can hear me, you can see me, everything is all good. Just drop a comment in the chat box. Let me see that you're here. I see a lot of names on here tonight. What's up, Starla, Leilani, Brooke in the building? How many people we got on tonight? How you guys doing? How's your Monday going so far? I'm excited because we have a lot of information to cover. And we're going to talk about how to get paid. How to get paid as a model. This is probably one of the biggest questions I've gotten, um, period. How do I start? Besides, how do I start modeling? The next question is, how do I get paid? So maybe you've been doing this for a while. Maybe you're just getting started, but we're going to go over a lot of details here. So just so I can kind of get to know who's in the room tonight and the experience level, let me know if you are a new model or if you've been doing this for some time. How long have you been modeling? Let me know in the chat box. How long have y'all been modeling? 2 to 3 years, Starla says. That's good. That's good. And I did a poll on my Instagram recently, asking models that follow me, do you want to be signed to an agency or do you want to be a freelance model? So what's the difference between those two? And we're going to talk about ways to get paid for both parties. Um, but if you're signed to an agency or you prefer freelance, let me know. Brooke says 2 years modeling experience. Great. Are any of you signed to an agency? Are you signed to an agency or are you freelance or do you want to be signed to an agency? Which do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Brooke says she's signed to an agency. Okay. Yeah, it was about 50-50 percent about who wanted to be signed and who wanted to be freelance. But either way, everybody wants to get paid. Brittany says 1 year, not signed, but wants to be. Starless says freelance. I don't know what comes with being signed, so I'm not so sure. Yeah. So we'll talk a lot about that. And then feel free to ask questions as we go through this tonight as well. I know we have people joining us tonight from the Sacramento area, which is where I am. But I've been seeing people sign up in New York, in Miami, in LA. So if you're in a different city or whatever city you're in, let me know that in the comments too. I know on the East Coast, it's about a 3 hour difference. So I appreciate you staying up with us tonight. It's probably about 10 o'clock there. And if you're here watching this, I know that you find a lot of value in your modeling career, wanting to take it to the next level. Okay, we got Brittany says she's in Atlanta. What's up, Atlanta? Yeah, definitely. I was actually just communicating with another model in the Atlanta area. We'll be setting up an interview for an upcoming podcast here soon. Where else are you guys from? Let me know where you're from. Brittany, are you signed to? Oh, not signed. Yeah, you said not signed. Okay. Leilani and Jaden, welcome to the group. Like I said, so every Monday we do this call live for free, 7 p.m. will be about, an hour, could go longer, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the conversation flow and the questions that come in. But we're here every Monday. So tell a friend, let someone else know if you have anybody in the modeling industry that's just getting started, trying to figure things out, or just looking for more ways to find opportunities for themselves, and bring them in here. All right. So we got Sacramento, we got Atlanta, we got New York, we got Miami. Okay. Everybody's coming in. So, and it seems like everybody is in the 0 to 3 years experience level with modeling so far. That's great. So this is exactly who the podcast is for. And last question before we get started here. Let me know if you have any questions. But my last question for you guys is, how did you hear about this? How did you hear about this live call? Did you see an advertisement on Facebook or Instagram? You just followed me on social media. Did you get an email or text message? Starla says my Instagram. Okay. Email. Brooke got an email. Great. Okay, cool. So I'm putting myself out there just like how y'all should be in all forms and facets and in any business. This is what you need to do to get hired, get paid, get noticed and seen, even if you're just looking to have agencies or brands or other photographers notice you and help you build your portfolio or, send you those paychecks. Leilani says freelance on and off the last 5 years. Found out about this call on Instagram. Okay, great. What's up, Michaela, to the group chat? Brittany says Instagram and the book purchase. Yeah, definitely appreciate the support on that. My new book just let go on pre-sale September 1st this year. This is the second book that I've self-published. And there's a lot of new information in there. Some people have been asking me, what's the difference between the old book and the new book? I already have the old one. Well, this one has more information, more chapters, more resources. And I think one of the most important things feedback wise that I got is more images. There's a lot of words, a lot of text in the previous book. And so this time around, I've added a lot of images to kind of correspond with what I'm saying to give you a visual representation. And I've added some videos as well. So similar to how I'm talking to you right now, pre-recorded videos explaining different poses, different movements, and information as we go through the book. So I prefer to call this book more of like a digital experience because of the video and image content. And there's a few bonuses in there too, if you saw my website, but we'll talk more about that later. All right, what's up? I got some more people in here. What's up, Haley? Let us know where you're coming in from tonight. I appreciate you being here. And also let me know, Haley, if you can, are you signed to an agency? Do you want to be signed or do you prefer to be freelance? All right. Jaden says, he said, yeah, I do this every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every Monday. So I was doing this on Instagram for a few months. And then as I tried to build and upgrade the quality of the visual and the audio and just the whole presentation, it just became more and more difficult to host that through Instagram. So I've converted everything through Zoom and it works out great. So we'll be here every week. I'll send out an email or some type of text message reminder. Of course, I'll post it on my social media. And so you can get the updated links to make sure you join in. Haley says she's listening in from Stockton, not currently signed, but would like to be. Okay, perfect, Haley. Thank you for your comment. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me bring up my presentation and make sure you guys can see it. It's all good. As we go through this, I will be checking the comments to see if I can answer anything for you as we go through it. And if you notice me looking down, it's just because my screen is down here. The camera is obviously a little bit up. So I'm trying to make digital eye contact with you guys, but just so you know why I'm looking down here. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the presentation. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Studio 713 is the name of my company. It just represents me and my daughter's birthdays. The 713 is not an area code or anything. Me and my daughter just so happened to share those numbers in our birthday. So, I figured it was kind of special and I just brought those together. She'll actually be turning 9 this year, next month. So wow, time flies. But yeah, Studio 713 Model Monday class every Monday, 7 p.m. So why are we all here? Why are we here tonight? And I'm excited to go over this information. How do models get paid? How do models get paid? So let me check before we go in too deep. let me see if I can check this, check the chat box here. How many of you, you can just say yes in the chat, you've already been paid for some type of modeling work? How many of you've already received payment? Um, even if you're just getting started, have you ever been paid for modeling? Yes or no? Let's see. Checking. Brooke says yes. Starla, yes. Haley, yes. Leilani, yes. Brittany says never. Okay. So good. A lot of yeses already. So you're probably just looking for more ways to get paid or get paid more consistently. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe only one of you is signed to an agency. Yeah, I think Brooke is signed to an agency. Brittany Davis, how long have you been modeling, out of curiosity? Okay, just getting started. Perfect. All right, so it's a mixed bag of everything in here. 2 to 3 years of experience. Most of you have been paid so far, but let's see if we can discover some more ways to keep that going. So let me make this bigger. Come on. Here we go. All right. How do models get paid? So freelance versus signed models, which is better? I think this is just going to come down to personal preference. But I'm pretty sure once we go through the presentation tonight, many more of you will be leaning towards getting signed as a model rather than freelancing. It just depends on your day-to-day activities and how you want to go about things, but we'll see. I mean, if I was a model, I definitely would be trying to get signed as many times as possible. So signed models. All right. So they're not paid regularly. So this is kind of a question, a myth buster here. Like once you get signed, you think maybe, hey, I'm about to start getting paid. How does it work? Is it like a weekly check, bi-weekly? And so this is not comparable really to a 9 to 5 type of job. You don't get paid hourly or weekly salary, like anything like that. So no weekly salary, no paychecks. You get paid per job that you do. The agency's job is to find you assignments and gigs for you to work, and then you get paid per assignment. So no job, unfortunately, there's no payment. So you don't want to go and quit your day job just yet. And when getting signed, the payments can come in pretty irregularly as you work through the agency. So yeah, the waiting period, you might have to wait to get booked, or if your look isn't unique or trending. So what that means is the agency may have signed you, they may have been interested in you, your work, but they may be only finding jobs for certain models right now because that's what the industry is looking for. So just because you guys signed doesn't mean you're going to start getting paid right away. You have to make sure that you're on their radar. Make sure that you're sending in. I think I have a notation here. Yeah, your portfolio and your images to your agency regularly. So as you get signed, just because you got signed doesn't mean it's automatically going to start coming in. Here's all the jobs, here's all the bookings, here's all the payments. You're with the agency, and it may take you a while before they actually find you work, depending on how your look is and the demand for, your style. So as you're waiting for the agency to find that work, continue to build your portfolio, continue working with photographers, and doing things on your own so that you can send those quality images in to your agency, and they can, just keep you on the forefront of their mind. Now, remember, agencies, they may be signing hundreds of models. They have hundreds of models working with them, and you can kind of get lost in the mix, unfortunately. So make sure you stay on top of that, building your portfolio, sending those images in as you get them, and saying, hey, I'm still here. I'm still hungry. I'm still waiting for my next opportunity. Here's some more updated images. And they may use those images to send out to clients, to help you get booked and get paid. Okay. So stay on their radar. Don't let them forget about you. Rates and fees. Agencies, obviously, they're going to take a fee. Um, their job is to find you work, and they're going to take a percentage of that work for the jobs that they find you. So they may take up to 20% of your paycheck, right? So if you're getting $1,000 for a model booking through the agency, expect to get more like 800 or less, because you also have to pay taxes. All right. So like I said, this isn't a 9 to 5 type of work. You want to make sure you are compensating for not only your fees that the agency takes, but also that tax man is going to come after you and take a piece of that as well. So again, don't quit your day job just yet. Unfortunately, it can also take 30 to 90 days to receive a payment after the job is done. So now let's put this in perspective. Let me slow it down a little bit. You get signed to an agency. Great. You might have to wait. You might still have to wait to find a job. Maybe you get some right away, first week or two. You might have to wait a month or two, maybe 3, hopefully not, to find your first gig. Then imagine waiting all that time, getting a gig, doing a job. It pays whatever it pays. We'll go over exact numbers later. And then not only do you have to take out percentages and taxes, but you have to wait maybe up to 3 months before you actually get the check in the mail, or however they decide to distribute it to you. So that's called net 90. Usually bigger corporations and companies, they just have to go through payroll. They got to go through accounting and things of that nature. So it takes a little while longer to get your payment, but you know, stay positive, stay consistent. I actually spoke with one model a little while ago, and she was saying that she's been working, every weekend. She's got a gig, she's got this job, that job, and she's been working for up to 3 to 4 months and still hasn't got any payment for it. So she's coming out of pocket, just to accommodate getting to locations, traveling, and showing up for those bookings on time. And maybe I don't know what her situation was with her job, but I know she needed that money or wanted the money sooner than later, but just had to play the waiting game. So know that before you get too deep into things and wanting to leave your work in relationship to modeling. So your rates, you're going to have what's called a day rate, which is an 8-hour day, could be longer, and a half day rate, obviously, which would be 4 hours or so. So each of those, your agency will let you know what your day rate or half day rate is. And you'll have to keep that in mind as well, for as knowing how much you're getting paid. And even if you're a freelance model, knowing what your rates are for these set amount of hours so that you can charge accordingly. All right. So you can ask about meals and travel accommodations. Some of these things are negotiable depending on how much experience you have as a model. And get your payment promise in writing. So that's really for both freelance and signed models. Questions I've gotten in the past is, how do I know if this company messaging me is legit or a scam? And if they're just messaging you on social media, take that conversation and transfer it to email. Get everything in black and white, and obviously do some research. Google the company, look at their reviews, check out their work, check out their pages, reach out to other models that they've posted on their pages. They should be tagging those models on their page. Reach out to the other models and politely ask them, like, hey, what was your experience working with this company? Did they pay you? Were they professional, etc.? So get everything in writing, get it all in black and white, and make sure everything is legitimate. Okay, so let me check the question box here. Let me see if there's any questions so far. Okay, I don't see anything. If you do have a question, go ahead and raise your hand or let me know, and I will get to that as soon as I can. All right, so let's move on. This next screen here, you're going to want you're going to want to take a screenshot of this. Okay, so it's very detailed image I'm about to show you here. You're going to want to take a screenshot of it. So be prepared for that. And let me bring that up for you. All right, let me move this out the way. Oh gosh, Zoom is not liking me today. All right, here we go. We'll go through that process one more time. All right, here we go. Can you guys see that? This chat box in the way? Let me move that. All right, take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot and who pays who, right? So some of you been modeling 2, 3 years. Maybe you're just getting started and you already are feeling the pain as a model of investing into yourself continuously, paying photographers, makeup artists, buying new clothes, traveling to locations, etc. Things can add up in the beginning. So it's like, when is your turn? When do you start making the money? Well, this chart here kind of breaks down everything you need to know about establishing yourself as a model and when you should start charging rates. So you can see new models just getting started, they still need direction, they lack some quality images. You're pretty much, you're in the beginner stages. You shouldn't expect necessarily to get paid just yet. Maybe you'll get lucky, but you will be investing in yourself the most as a new beginner model until you start building up those quality images. You're learning some more posing techniques. You're learning lighting from the photographer, like not having to tell you which way to pose, so the flash is on one side versus the other. And maybe now you're starting to do some runway and commercial paid work, and you can pose freely on your own. You're confident, you're established, you understand the nature of what happens during a photo shoot. So as you build up your tier level into the established and experienced model category, then you'll start seeing, hey, everybody's paying me now, right? So the red is trade, the blue is paid. All right. So, and it's the same thing for photographers. New photographers versus established and experienced photographers, they're going to be at the bottom of the list as far as trying to earn money for what they do. All right. So I'm not going to go over every single part of this. Make sure you have that screenshot. I'm going to move on to the next slide here in 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right. I hope you guys got that. All right. So freelance models, rates. You decide. You decide your rate, your flat rate, hourly, half day, full day, whatever it is, you decide. But then now the question is, how do you know how much to charge and when to charge versus not to charge? Well, that question was answered with the chart previously. You took screenshots of, depending on where you are in your model category of experience. You can kind of gauge from there, like, okay, I have these things going on. I feel like I can charge a rate for my time now. But how do we come up with those rates? Right. So obviously you will have some negotiation power here. And that now this comes down to like personality type. Are you okay with being your own salesperson, with having those conversations with sometimes people have a hard time asking for the sale, asking for the money, for the payment. Okay, great. I did my job. When should I expect my payment? How should I expect it? Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, whatever is your preferred method, ask for the money. If that's not you, that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You may be leaning towards more of a signed model or having some type of manager or booking agent handle those things for you. But then again, that's another person you're going to have to pay for these rates, right? So another way is asking other freelance models, figuring out what's the going rate per hour, per day, and doing a little compare and contrast of, can I match these other models in my area, charging these rates and what they offer for that? So that's something we'll talk about too. Runway. This goes for freelance and signed, honestly. But again, I'm gonna check the chat here because I want to ask you guys a question. Oh, I just gave away the answer. I guess when I escape from this presentation, I give away the answer. But yeah, you can see there the runway models, you don't really get paid for runway. This is something that you do on your own. It establishes the credibility, it gives you the experience that you need to become an established model. But you can be in many, many runway shows and you will not make money from runway, not necessarily. So right now, New York Fashion Week is going on. Everybody's out there, all the big brands, the companies, you got high fashion editorial lines showing off their new items. And now it comes down to what is the brand and the company's budget for their show. So signed models, experienced models, if they really like you, they need you on set, they trust you, you build a uh what's the word I'm looking for? A relationship with them. You can get paid up to $400 as a model to do a runway show. But keep in mind, this can last you anywhere from 2 to 10 hours to do one show. Sometimes you'll have to show up very early in the morning just to get hair, makeup, wardrobe, rehearsal, and everything else that comes with being a part of a big show that day. Hours and hours on site location. And honestly, you're lucky if you kind of get some food in there. So bring some snacks, pack your model bag. Um, but imagine $400 for a 10-hour day. Now you're starting to weigh out your options, right? Like, who am I walking for? Why am I here? Do I just need the experience? Do I need images of me on stage? You just love it that much to be there, of course you do, right? So sometimes it's not always about the money, it's about the opportunity that comes next from that, because you never know what is going to happen after that show, who's going to see you, and getting return callbacks, getting booked in the future for that line for photographers that see you at these shows, right? So not to discourage you there, but runway just it doesn't pay that much. All right. So you may even have to pay to walk on a runway show. And that's not recommended. A lot of models, a lot of agents, agencies will frown upon this. Like, you shouldn't have to pay to walk in a runway show. But there are shows in LA, for example. I won't say the name. I think many of you already know who I'm talking about, but they'll have each model paying $400 or so, maybe even $500 to walk in their show, because they require the model to sell tickets to be to qualify to be in the show. So they give you 10 tickets. They'll say these are 40, $50. Sell as many as you can. If you sell all 10, you can walk if for no charge. If you don't sell them, then you just pay the difference. So you might have to pay just to be in the runway show. Again, now it's like, what's the opportunity here? What am I going to gain from this? Who am I going to meet while I'm there? Am I shaking hands, smiling, taking pictures, networking, meeting people? You got to have a game plan when you go in the door in any of these circumstances. And what is the goal that you're looking to achieve here, right? Regardless if you're paying, getting paid, no one's getting paid, know what your goal is and go after it. Okay. So the offer. So what I mean by that is, especially if you're a freelance model, um, you're still trying to establish credibility. I think one thing that being signed to an agency does for you is gives you a little bit of automatic credibility, because there's this assumptiveness that if you're assigned to an agency, oh, well, she must know what she's doing. or he's doing. This model has some level of experience, right? It raises you up a notch. And if you're not, that's cool and that's great, depending on the niche and the style that you're going after. But what are you offering in exchange for your time? It becomes a little bit more of a question, like, why should I pay you versus someone else? Right. So, what's included besides your presence for your booking rate? Don't ever have this opinion that just because you showed up, you should get paid, or just because you're attractive or more attractive than another person or model, or whatever it is that makes you feel that you deserve to be paid. Make sure it's more than just the fact that you're there being present. Okay. So, some of those things, a certain level of experience, obviously, the more experience you have, and the more you can display and show that to others, the more you will be able to negotiate what your rate is. Promoting that event or that music video or that show or whatever it is that they're hiring you to do, their product, promoting that to your followers. I spoke with many models that are freelance, and they'll say, "Hey, here's my rates," and they'll just automatically tell me what it comes with. I'll be there at this time for this many hours. I'll do my own makeup. I have my own stylist and hair. If it's necessary, I'll promote it. I'll make some content, some reels of TikTok. They just try to over deliver now because there you have some fighting power between getting picked over someone else. So if I have a choice between picking this freelance model or another, and this model is telling me, hey, I'm going to promote this product, I'm going to post it to all my followers, I'm going to make a TikTok and a reel about it, I'm going to, my professionalism is there, I have a resume that says I've done this with these brands and other companies. Now it's like, okay, I don't care if she's signed anymore or he's signed anymore. I'm going to work with this person because of everything that they're delivering to me for this rate that I'm willing to pay. Right. So think about that. If you're a freelance model, how you decide on your rates and how you can just make yourself more competitive. Okay. So next up, agency rates. Agency for a half day rate on average, you can see making about $150 to $400 in a 4 hour time period, right? So think about that in comparison to those freelance models. You're looking to kind of compare to what other models may be getting in the same room as you. Sometimes there may be you got hired for a gig as a freelance and someone else got hired through an agency. If you're fortunate enough to work your way in there, then just kind of knowing the room of what most models are getting paid for that same time period. A full day, on average, $300 to $800. Again, depending on your experience level. Okay, so also depending on the brand and usage fees. So usage fees is really something that you want to have in your contract when you get hired for a modeling job. The usage fee, what that means is that the company, the brand, whomever is also paying you not only for the shoot of that day, but giving you an additional fee depending on how they're going to use those images. So, for example, if those images are going to be on a billboard, or if they're going to be in a TV ad, if they're going to be on their website, depending on how they're using those images, the usage fees will change up and down. And that's really where you start to see thousands or more dollars coming in. And we're going to talk about that right now. All right. So $450 to $3,500 for images. The more the images are used, the more you earn. So that this relationship to the usage fees, right? So depending on what those are, you can start getting higher and higher payments. So ecom. Now, ecom is like Fashion Nova models, right? They're all over the website. Nike models, you see them, they're wearing 15, 30 to, even more outfits on every page. So doing ecom for a clothing brand, or maybe even some products where they're just using your image for every outfit or for every product, that's going to pay a little bit more for those web usage fees as well. Editorial. I think this is something that when people envision modeling, they immediately go to some high fashion shoot in the middle of a desert with crazy hair and makeup. And that's great. One of my favorite photographers, I saw him doing a photo shoot in Egypt in front of the pyramids. And it's like, wow, it's crazy. That's amazing. Like, I started even questioning, like, who's paying for that? Is it that the company pay to fly everyone out to Africa for a few days, a week, whatever it is, and shoot that content? Like, it's just truly amazing to me. So that editorial work, you really start seeing money coming in, $1,000 to $5,000 for 1 day of work. Commercial shoot. So now getting something like Target, a really big billboard ad, McDonald's, like major companies, they're going to pay a little bit more for your time. Okay. So commercial photography work, $8,000 for a full day rate. Again, this is because of the way they're going to use those images. And you're most often going to find jobs like that through an agency. All right. So, this is why I said in the beginning of the call, you're probably going to start leaning more and more towards commercial modeling and agency modeling because of opportunities like that. All right. So $1,500 plus residuals for TV commercials. So residuals, I think everybody here knows what that means, but just to go deeper, you may have a buyout rate for $1,500. They'll pay you upfront. Here's your 1,500. And now every time we air this TV commercial or we show this advertisement, we're going to give you a residual payment every time we use it. And so you'll end up being in a contract in this case for maybe 1 to 2 years. They plan to use this advertisement with your image, with you on camera, your video, and you can start receiving residual income for the next year or two. So now imagine getting paid to do a job and getting paychecks now regularly, on average every 13 weeks or so, to just another check in the mail. Now you lock in a few of these, and I feel like now you're good to go. You can quit that job, you start living that life, you start traveling, and you really start experiencing what it's like to be an established, experienced full-time model. Right. So this next one here, I mean, to be honest with you, got me excited. Like, maybe I should start modeling, because this one here, I was like, wow, okay, this is a big deal. This is what everybody's talking about when they say they want to be a successful model. So, and before I release that information, I have a friend, used to live in Sacramento. Now she's in LA. And I'm going to try to get her as a special guest in the next few weeks on one of these Model Monday calls. So you guys can tap into that. And I hope that she says yes. But I have seen her in music videos with Big Sean. I've seen her do a Super Bowl commercial last year. During Super Bowl, she was in a commercial. I forgot who it was for exactly. I forgot what the company was, but they played it twice during the Super Bowl. So I'm really curious to talk more with her and see how she landed those jobs, and what the payment is like, if she's willing to give that information, or what other advice and tips that she can give to new models coming up to achieve something like that. So I don't know that she got paid this, but I do know if you land a national TV commercial, this is where you start seeing the money rolling in. $50,000 plus residuals for national TV ads. So now you're starting to think, hey, this is now it's more than modeling at this point. This will require you maybe a little bit of acting, tapping into those emotions, being able to move fluidly on camera and convey the message to the audience, right? So it's not just standing there and looking good, right? It's, can you show up? Can you deliver? And can you be professional, right? So there's a lot of money to be made in modeling. If it's still far and few in between with getting paid and finding your way around, then here's some information about, like, okay, what's the baseline? How are models getting paid? What are the resources? Where are they getting the checks from? And so take a screenshot of that if you need it. Those of you that upgraded, you'll get access to this video, lifetime access to this video. So I'll be sure to send you a link to that as well. And let's move on. One more slide here. Websites to find paid work. Websites to find paid work. So modelmanagement.com, newbookmodels.com, backstage.com. These are all websites that you can use to upload your photos to and find paid opportunities as a model. So some of these models will have sites. Some of these, they will have fees that you have to pay to become a membership. They may have like a week or two a free trial at the beginning. But don't be afraid to invest in yourself, invest in your modeling career, and understand that sometimes you gotta pay to get, just a little bit. So I think one of them, modelmanagement.com, that may be like $90 a year or something like that. You can do some research. But even when you find work, you find jobs on these websites, still practice safety precautions, do your research, and make sure that everything is legitimate. I am recommending these sites to find paid work, but do your own research as well to make sure it's something that's fitting for you, and that opportunity. So obviously you don't want to do work that's not in your niche or you feel uncomfortable with. They're paying you maybe a good amount of money to do some type of content that you're uncomfortable with. Don't be afraid to turn down work as well, right? You don't need the money. You just, you want it, you prefer it, but do it in a lane that works best for you. So I want to hear from you guys. What questions do you have for me? What information then did we go over that you didn't know yet? And where are you guys at? How do you guys feel about this information? Are you leaning more now towards being a signed model, or are you still looking to be a freelance model? Let me know in the comment section here. I got a few messages coming through. Okay. Let me know how you guys are feeling about that. So as I wait for those to come in, I do have, like I said in the beginning of this, a new book that I just released. My new Modeling Secrets ebook, 11 chapters plus on how to start modeling and everything you need to do to get signed or to get paid, regardless if you're freelance or not. There's more information about posing in there, facial expressions, how to network through the industry, understanding the lighting, things that should be in your model bag. I mean, there's so much information in there. And like I said, there's some bonus footage and content as well. Let me see if I can bring that up. Haley says she wants to be signed for sure. She saw that $50,000. I'm like, yes, I'm trying to get signed. I need to be in some commercials. Starlet says signed. signed as well. Michaela, for sure. Yeah, get signed. Why not? Why not? Brittany says, I'm still wanting to be signed. I feel like I wouldn't be able to make connections I need on my own. Well, I mean, you could, right? And it's now, do you want a lot of local connections and then work your way up to the brands as you become established? Or do you want to let the agency do a lot of the upfront work for you? So you may, you can still get some of those big jobs through freelancing, but yeah, you really got to hustle. You got to put yourself out there, and everybody needs to know who you are. You know, establish yourself as a model. Something I talked about on my last podcast is how to establish yourself, how the mistakes to avoid, um, and in your modeling career in order to create that portfolio for yourself. So yeah, you really got to put yourself out there. Signed, signed, signed. Everybody wants to get signed. Of course, I want to get signed. I actually will probably be talking to some agencies here about signing me as a photographer. I think which will be some good connections as well. So as I do that, I'll be sure to give you more and more insight. Like I said, I'll be doing interviews with really established freelance and signed models here pretty soon. So you guys will be able to tap in and watch that as well. Here is the cover of my book. I know some of you already have it. Modeling Secrets, How to Start Modeling. It's probably about 70 pages, I believe, maybe a little more of content in here. So you can pick up a copy. It's still available for pre-sale on the sacramentophotographer.com/book. And if you get the book on pre-sale, um, you're also going to get some bonus information of words every model should know. So there's about 18 to 20 words that I written out on a PDF of that models should know what these are, especially when you start putting yourself around the agencies and around like-minded peers. You want to know how the conversation is going to go and what things mean, so you understand what's happening. You're also going to get the agency checklist, a checklist. So if those of you that are looking to get signed to an agency and you haven't started submitting your photos yet, that's okay. A lot of the agencies, they may have certain requirements that you need to do before you start submitting things. And I have a full checklist on everything you'll need to have as a model to get signed. So make sure you don't skip over that and get a copy of it. And, you'll get that bonus video information as well. So I have about 20 copies left of the pre-sale. I was only going to do about 50 pre-sale copies. Only have 20 left. I've been selling them every day. I've been running advertisements all over the United States. So I'm excited to see people picking that up. So make sure you get a copy of that. Everything I mentioned tonight, including the bonuses for the pre-sale pack, is only $9.97 for everything. And you can also upgrade for $1 and get a copy of these videos that we're doing live here, forever access. Okay, so let me check back in the comment section here. If you guys are getting some valuable information, you guys are enjoying this, let me know. Type yes in the comment box, or actually, scratch that. 0 to 10. On a scale from 0 to 10, how valuable is this information tonight? How helpful was everything that we went over? Scale from 0 to 10. Let me know in the comments. I want to see answers. Do I need to improve, or was it, I already knew all this, man? You're wasting my time. We got 10, very helpful, 10, very informative. Great, great. Thank you. Of course, no problem. We got 10s coming in. Great. I'm glad that this is valuable. I'm glad that the information is getting you there. And please let me know as you go through this process and you go to those websites and you sign up and you find opportunities, or you start networking more and building your own rate or day rate, and you start getting those payments. Hey, let me know how this is all working out for you in the long run as well. Lashonda says, this was very helpful. A 10. This was great. Thanks. 10, 10. All right. Dope, dope, dope. Brittany says, yes, this is very informative. I rated a 10. You have been extremely helpful and non-judgmental. I appreciate that. Of course, my life is a up and down roller coaster as well. I haven't always been the person that you see before you today. I'm still working on becoming a better version of me, So I know speaking on camera can be a very intimidating and big deal. There was a time where just speaking in front of a group of people, a small group, even if I knew them personally, I would just break out into a sweat and just would be stuttering all over the place. I'm still stuttering, right? But we all grow, we all become better, hopefully, and start reaching toward those goals. So I appreciate the feedback. Okay, so who pays who? Let me bring that up for you one more time. Make this screen nice and big. Hopefully this little chat box information isn't blocking you from seeing the whole thing. I can see it on my end. Let's see. I don't know how to get rid of it. Hide video panel. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that. Who pays who? New model, new photographer, established model photographer, experienced model photographer. So there we go. Red equals trade, blue equals paid. So take a screenshot of this, or if you're a VIP member already, you upgraded, you'll get forever access to this, and I'll send you a link so you can always review back and revert to it later. But yeah, was there a particular question that you had about this, Michaela? I really appreciate the information, forums. Thank you. I appreciate that. No worries. No, just wanted to screenshot it again. Okay, cool. All right. So how do I upgrade? Well, do you have my book? That would be the first thing. Go to the website, get a copy of my ebook, sacramentophotographer.com/book. And once you purchase the pre-sale pack of the book, you'll be able to get access to all these webinars for an extra $1. All right, that was the minimum that the website would literally allow me to add that feature on for. So for one extra $1, you get a copy of these webinars, lifetime access, and I'll send you a private link so you can view that. All right, so I'll put the website in the chat just so you guys can make it clickable. The Sacramento photographer.com/book. All right, so there it is. All of you guys should have it now. And if there's no other questions, then only thing else I have to say is make sure you join my private Facebook group as well. So it's another way for you to find opportunities. I didn't mention earlier, there's about 500 plus members in there already, models, photographers, makeup artists, designers. Join the group, join the community, get to know people, post some of your photos, introduce yourself. I'm not the only person that shares information in the group chat or in the Facebook group about future opportunities. Sometimes there's fashion shows, or there's other photographers looking for models to build their portfolio with. So some of that trade work comes into play there. So be part of that community. If you need a link to that, I will send it to you as well. The Secrets to Modeling Facebook group on Facebook. All right. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm glad that you made it here tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Model Monday. All right. You guys all have a great night.